Actually, we had a lot of discussions already with so many investors. And when we look to this fiscal year, which just started, we see continuous growth here on the aerospace defense sector. So this is going on. It is really booming here in our company.
Good morning. My name is Anna Proske. I'm here at the MKK in Munich today, here with Mr. Thumfart from Electrovac. Welcome. Lovely having you here.
Thank you very much.
You are the CEO of the company, founded in Bavaria, right?
No, actually founded in Vienna.
Oh, founded in Vienna.
Right after the Second World War, right?
Yeah, 1947, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, give us a little bit more of an insight about you. What are you doing exactly and what the company is about?
So my name is Dieter Thumfart. I'm with the company actually already since 1993, so quite a long time. Responsible now for the business since 2010. And actually we are producing glass to metal sealed packages. So something which you maybe do not know what it is, but usually you use it somewhere and you have contacts with our products. It's actually a metal package for very special electronics or sensors or also pyrotechnic, where it's important to have long lifetime, where we have high reliable electronics, for example, then such kind of packages are used. So normal packages actually, which you maybe know from your mobile phone or from your notebook, this is plastic.
Yeah.
And we do the high end, which is metal packages.
Okay, so you have two big markets, right? You go into like personnel and safety, that part. So airbags, did I get that right? Airbag, for example, is one thing. And then aerospace and defense. Tell us a little bit more. What do you do there?
Correct. Actually, we do packages for airbag igniters. So we call that airbag igniter headers. And we are doing 270 million per year, so quite a high number, which is like 27% maybe, according to our estimation of the total market. That's one area, and the other area where we focus on actually, it's aerospace and defense, where we do a broad range of different products, starting from sensors for aircrafts, for example, packages for satellites, but also control units, for example, for air defense missiles. So a very broad range of different products in that sector. And this sector actually, since Ukraine war actually started, it is really booming here in our company.
So you would say that aerospace and defense is the market that grows more these days, or which of the two markets do you see growing more in the next, let's say, 5 years roundabout?
I would say aerospace and defense is for sure the market which is growing most in our case, but also the personal safety market actually is growing.
Yeah.
It's not the German automotive market, which is actually quite difficult at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the global market for airbags, and in particular, the number of applications per car is growing quite a lot, coming from China, coming from India, and these kind of countries.
In the fiscal year of 24 to 25, you made a revenue of 98 million. It's already a growth of 12% compared to the year before. And then this new fiscal year, you already grew of 21%. Why do you think that is, that you already had such a rise in revenue?
Actually, the biggest share of this growth comes from personnel safety. We started a new production line in our Thailand facility, and this was running at full capacity within a very short time period. We sold everything actually what we produced. That was one reason, I guess the bigger one. And also aerospace and defense was still growing. And when we look to this fiscal year, which just started, we see continuous growth here on the aerospace defense sector. So this is going on.
Yeah. Now, if we look at competitors, for example, why do you think, or what do you think is your USP compared to competitors on the market, or what makes you being such a big player?
Actually, we have to separate that a little bit. In the personal safety business, actually, there is one big competitor, also a German company, a huge company Schott. So we try to compete with them as the second largest on the market, and customers also supports us here to get a better balanced situation here on the market, on their supplier market. If we look to aerospace, defense, or also other industrial applications, we actually have a very good position. The competitors are smaller than we are. We have quite good experience in production, which we learned with all the automotive business we have been doing in the last 20, 30 years. And on the other hand, we already focus on aerospace and defense since many years. I guess 15 years ago, we decided that this is one of our focus areas. And in the last years, we really could develop a very broad range of different processes, which we added to our production. We are ISO 9100 certified for aerospace and defense. We are NADCAP accredited for delivering to Boeing, for example. So I guess we have a very good position here against usually smaller competitors. This I also have to mention in that area.
Okay. Another point about USP, I read something about the zero-defect quality tolerance. Can you please tell us a little bit more about it? Because I thought that is actually a very interesting point to talk about.
This is something actually you try to reach as a target actually always in production. And in particular, of course, in personal safety, it's very critical to deliver only good products. But the same actually also in aerospace and defense. Also they are very keen to get really the quality they need for their products. So this is something we focus on in production since many, many years to deliver not one defect part to the customer. And if you look to personal safety, for example, you deliver one type, 10 million, 20 million, and actually you should have not a single part with any defect. That's the best.
It is a matter of life and death, because if my airbag is not going, then this could be a problem.
Life critical, right.
So something I haven't mentioned yet is that you're actually right before the IPO. You are raising approximately 30 million net. That's what you're going for. And what are you going to do with this money? What's that cash flow going to help you with?
Actually, we have a strategy to grow further.
Yeah.
On the one hand side, on the personal safety area, to add additional lines in our Thailand facility, also to have a next step going to China to meet at least partially the requests of our customers to produce local and deliver local for local. This is how they call that. We will have a kind of, I always say, low risk approach. So not putting the whole process chain to China, but just the last step to try to protect also our know-how and our knowledge here and technology. And on the other hand, we would be then nevertheless able to deliver from a Chinese factory to the Chinese factories of our customers.
Yeah.
And on the aerospace and defense sector, of course, we will support the European customers in their growth. Quantities are increasing, so we can already think about automation in some of the aerospace and defense product lines. And in addition, we already do some business in the US, so like 8 million euros roughly in the non-automotive sector. And increasing that and being stronger in the US means for us that we will start with an own production in the US. And at least the priority would be to take over one smaller competitor in the US and actually, then improve their production processes or add production processes so that we can offer in the US the broad range of products which we today can only produce in Austria or in Germany and export to the US with all the restrictions you have in aerospace and defense with exporting.
Okay, interesting. Thank you for that insight. So a lot to do, a lot you want to accomplish. So like I just said, you're right in front of the IPO. It's closing on Monday, right? What do you want potential investors to know? What do they need to hear from you?
Actually, we had a lot of discussions already with so many investors. So I guess they have a very good insight to our company. So we are very proud that actually we as a smaller company can go forward and go to Frankfurt Stock Exchange here, and that we could convince the investors that this is really a good business case also for them. So it's a kind of, push for us also to reach our targets and to go after our targets.
Thank you, Mr. Thumfart. Very interesting company. It grew for 79 years and now they're going onto the stock market. I'm really looking forward what we're going to see from you and what out of the list of things you want to accomplish is really going to come to life. Thank you, Mr. Thumfart.
Thank you very much.